It is a silent crisis. Researchers say the number of suicides in the first responder community continues to grow, affecting departments, families, and communities across all 50 states. While oftentimes difficult to talk about, leaders in Ohio are trying to start a dialogue. Jordan Vandenberg has more in this News 5 original.
It lives at an intersection. It sleeps on a certain street. It feels at home at a certain home. It can be both hidden and obvious, but trauma never leaves.
I beat myself up for 2 years.
Even decades later, State Fire Marshal Kevin Reardon still asks, what if? A friend at the fire station asked him not to transfer. Reardon transferred anyway. Weeks later, his friend took his own life.
I beat myself up for a long time about that. And back then, that's what you did. You didn't have any out. You dealt with it. That takes a toll on you.
People will say, what's the worst thing you ever saw? And I struggle with coming up with that. Now, if you say, well, it's a bad thing you saw, well, how long do you have?
For some responders, the trauma and personal corrosion that followed came from one event. For others, it's a series of them.
The culture for years didn't encourage us to talk about it. When Marshall and I came into public safety, I'm sure he heard the same thing I did. That's the job. Suck it up.
Yep. There are so many services out there today. We don't have to do that.
Chief among them, Wednesday's virtual First Responders Summit, hosted by the state. The summit will cover the long-term effects of trauma and PTSD on first responders and its impact on their families. The summit comes at a critical time. According to the advocacy organization Blue Help, nearly 230 first responders took their own lives in 2019. That is a record high. Reardon says the summit will also connect first responders with resources and programs, including the state's Peer Support Initiative.
That is the secret sauce because they are so detailed. They match a peer mentor with that person that needs help that was in a similar situation.
The reactions of our first responders aren't as different as they would like to believe. Firefighters, police officers, corrections officers, all the EMTs and dispatchers, we're all having very similar reactions to these situations.
The toxicity from trauma can be both nowhere and everywhere. Whether it's one big event or several small ones, talking about it is the first step in getting past them.
I guarantee you that's going to bother those people for the rest of their career in some way, shape, or form.
Jordan Vandenberg, News 5.